The first thing the kid said to me wasn't loud or cinematic. It was small enough to get lost in a ballroom full of crystal and money. He tugged my sleeve and whispered, "Please don't let them look at her face." And in that moment, under the lights at the Harborview Grand, with 300 grown-ups hungry for a show, I understood I wasn't there for dinner. I was there to stand between a child and a crowd. You know what I mean? My name is Maya Ellison. I used to fix networks and reset passwords until a night in an ER turned me into someone who teaches families to breathe through fear. That evening, I had a donated seat at a fundraiser. I wore the one dress that doesn't argue with me in a mirror, and figured I'd clap, eat cake, go home simple, right? Across the room sat Cole Mercer, the Sentinel. Harbor security guy with the jawline and the billboard promise of safety next to him. Bianca Vale, all perfect hair and perfect angle and at a side table. Too small for the room, and too brave for his age, their boy Noah in a hoodie that looked like shelter. It starts mild, the way trouble likes to tiptoe. The MC announces a surprise. Our youngest innovator. Bianca's hand floats up like it rehearsed. Let's mirror Noah's app to the big screen. Investors perk up, cameras wake. Cole flinches the kind of flinch a parent makes when they recognize a storm in their kid's eyes. The techs rush over with cables, and I'm thinking, please, someone read the room, but the screen blinks alive 15 feet of desktop, and Noah's finger slips because that's what fingers do when they're shaking. A folder opens, not a demo, not for strangers, a private space labeled Soft Days, and there she is, a woman with tired, laughing eyes, notes beneath each photo like tiny prayers. Her voice when the rain started, the way she stirred lemonade calm on Dad's bad days. The ballroom goes quiet, the way sanctuaries go quiet, when someone drops a secret on the floor. Bianca leans toward the mic, all smile. Technical hiccup, folks, let's move past. And my body moves before my brain votes. I step in front of the LED wall, not because I can block a screen that size, but because kids understand when a grown-up physically stands between them and the stare. I crouch to Noah's level, keep my voice steady. Want to close it? He nods. His hands are smart, but unsteady. The folder clicks shut. The giant screen goes dark. And for a beat, you can hear the lights hum. I turn to the room and say, what should be obvious? That wasn't a glitch. That was a boy's private place. Some doors are supposed to stay closed. I look at Cole, not the brand, the father. He's standing like a man who suddenly remembered the one vault he never built. I take Noah's hand and guide him off stage. If anyone claps, I don't hear it. 3 days later, Cole calls me. His voice isn't the commercial voice. It's the voice of a man who tripped over his own reflection. Ms. Ellison. I don't need help with cameras. I need help making my kid feel safe again. I need to learn how to be his dad, not just his security detail. I tell him I don't bill for teaching a father to knock. He exhales a laugh that sounds like a plea. Good, I'm rich and not knowing how, and we set a time. The Mercer house looks like a museum that forgot to be warm. Noah meets me halfway down the stairs with the laptop that betrayed him under hot lights. You came, he says, like he's checking a hypothesis, I said. I would, I answer. I don't promise things I can't keep. He nods and leads me to a room that's clean in that telltale I didn't get to decide way. We start with basics. Passwords, two-factor decoy folders. But I tell him first. Digital safety only works if emotional safety shows up, too. Your room is yours, your laptop is yours, your story is yours. You can invite people in, and you can say no even to people you love. He glances at the door, even to Dad. Especially to Dad, I say, boundaries aren't walls. They're doors that knock. Cole listens from the hallway, like a man trained to guard the perimeter. That night he tries something new. He knocks, the sound is awkward and beautiful. "May I come in?" he asks. And Noah shrugs with that careful little grown man shrug kids develop when they stopped trusting promises. "It's your house, it's your room," Cole answers. And he sits on the floor so he doesn't tower over his own child. "Tell me about your app, the real one." And Noah does. He shows a journal that asks, "Did you feel seen today?" A hug counter. A space called "Letters for when talking is hard." He types into it and doesn't send. "That's still talking," I tell him, and he looks at me like I finally said something that fits. If the story ended there, we'd all sleep easier. But Bianca doesn't like being upstaged by grief a week later. A tech article lands with my name under the word uncredentialed. A hit that sounds polite until it bleeds, comments do. "What comments do?" Cole calls, asks if I want a lawyer. I say I want quiet, and text that I'm stepping away because sometimes the bravest thing a stranger can do is let a family fix its own house. Yeah, that happened the next morning. He shows up anyway in our community center courtyard that smells like jasmine and coffee. "Don't quit on us," he says. "Don't quit on my kid." I tell him about my son Caleb and the ER nurse who told me we were overreacting about the hallway, where the air got thin about the settlement that changed policy, but not a single night in a quiet bedroom. He doesn't try to paste sorry over it. He just holds my hand and says, "The difference is I get another chance with my kid only if you take it," I say, and he nods like a man who's finally done with excuses. Then the twist drops like a trapdoor. Audio leaks of Bianca on a hot mic, Noah milks. The dead mom angle once I'm married in the network. Is the prize you can hear ice clink, investors get shy, the city that worships optics suddenly remembers values, Bianca posts an apology, typed like a hostage letter. People argue punctuation. I keep my mouth shut because I know what pain can turn a person into when control feels like the last life raft. But I choose my team, Noah and Cole, and we move. Ruth Cole's mother walks into my office like a thunderstorm that bakes pies. She hugs me the way Southern women hug when they've already decided you're family. That night she tells Cole a truth that lets him lay down a 5-year punishment. The night Lena died, he was on a call. He's carried that like lead in his lungs. Ruth admits she told Lena to wait until morning to share big news so he'd hear it fully. If guilt's going to live here, she says, it can start paying rent. Cole breaks open. Noah watches and doesn't hide. Some rules need to be broken where kids can see. And then Arthur Delgado, the investor, with silver hair and eyes that have watched children try, calls a meeting. Cole braces for a lecture. Arthur pours coffee and says, "I've been wrong about security for 40 years, he tells him. Cameras don't hold hands. Parents can't outsource presence. His grandson is autistic, and all the people who said toughen up were wrong. Keep your expansion, he says, but carve a division for human-centered security, teach digital boundaries, partner with schools, hire people who can speak, fear without condescending. Start with Ms. Ellison, Cole comes home with a term sheet, and the kind of hope that makes you sit down before you fall. I read it, and something in me unclenches that hasn't unclenched since the hospital. The win isn't a headline, it's stupidly small and impossibly huge. A checklist Noah builds called Things That Make Me Feel Safe. 3 boxes, hugs, listening, playing together. He colors a square green each day. Those happen 3 weeks, all green. Cole stares at that grid like it's the stock price of his soul. He learns to be home by 6, to eat without a phone, to ask questions, and not fix the answers, to knock, to sit on carpet, to play a video game. He's hilariously bad at Noah. Laughs, and the house loosens its grip on grief. We host our first community night lamps on the tables, so it doesn't look like a place where forms go to die. Dads ask for do-overs out loud. Moms lay their heads down and let mascara run. Kids teach each other how to lock an app. and say not ready to share. And for once, the setting is the room, not the phone. Bianca leaves town, sends a letter that says, in 100 tidy sentences, she wanted control more than love, because control felt safer. I get it. I lived that too. But the house has new rules now. Forgiveness and access are not the same thing. Ruth says we don't throw people away, we just don't hand them the keys. Arthur signs the deal, True North launches, and on a Sunday morning, Noah says, we need more chocolate chips because life is short, and Mom would have said. So we make pancakes that would make nutritionists faint. We stick a photo of Lena on the fridge at Noah's request. So she keeps an eye on us, not like a camera, like a mom. We laugh, the kind of laugh that sounds like surrendering to joy. And when Noah unveils his new app, Second Chance Letters, a place to write to the people you lost, and the ones you might lose if you don't soften up. Cole reads his out loud. Dear Lena, I chose the wrong kind of safety too long. I'm choosing the kind where you knock and wait. The room breathes together because sometimes breathing is louder than applause. Is it tied with a bow? Not even close. A week later, Bianca's lawyers send something fancy about reputational harm. The board fights, PR drafts, statements. Noah asks if forgiving someone means letting them back in the house, Cole says. Maybe someday, I say, forgiveness is for your heart. Now consequences are for what happened then, and what might happen next. Both can be true, you know what I mean? Here's what I know, so... On Tuesday nights, our center stays open. Late, Cole brings tacos like he's not a CEO, just a dad willing to sit on folding chairs. Noah runs a corner table and reminds grown-ups that safety is mostly presence stitched to respect. And if you need a hook to carry with you through the noise, take this. Protection isn't control. Protection is presence. It's knocking. It's sitting. It's choosing connection over comfort until your little green squares add up to a life. Now tell me in the comments who was right and who was wrong here. Was Bianca a villain or a mirror for a city? Hooked on image, does a security CEO deserve a second chance when his home wasn't safe? Are we too hard on grief or not hard enough on the way we monetize it? And if you'd been in that ballroom, would you have clapped, looked away, or stepped forward? Yeah, that's the part I can't stop thinking about.